The latest Wolverine figure from Marvel Legends is here and is looking pretty damn sweet. Features some decent accessories, and I really like the new costume that they're giving him here. So let's take a closer look and see what this new Wolverine buck has to offer us. Hey, what's up guys, this is Ben, welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be diving with a new Wolverine figure from Marvel Legends. It's part of the Nemesis Build a figure wave and includes Wolverine's new X-Treme X-Men suit. On the side of the box here, you kind of get some really nice artwork in terms of this costume, get some nice details there of what he actually looks like from the source material. On the back, you get the standard paragraph of Wolverine here and some really nice artwork. Close up more of a bust shot. Now it is part of the Nemesis Build a figure wave, but unfortunately it does not come with a BAF part for some reason, which I still find very strange. So interesting that they released him like that. But the packaging is pretty straightforward in terms of what they give you, what you can see. So let's take a closer look at Wolverine's actual details. Now, unboxing this figure is pretty straightforward. He resides in a Windows-based box and not that hard plastic sort of packaging that you get sometimes, like with the Retro series. So you can just easily pull him out here from the bottom, and you have some nice standard yellow comic backdrop here. Now, in terms of actual costume, this is, again, the extreme version of Wolverine, not the ultimate version, although they are very similar. There are some differences, especially in the costume, the tiger lines, as well as the head sculpt there. But the packaging is pretty decent. They easily split where the accessories are, including the hand molds from left to right. So pretty easy to kind of stand out there. It's centered nice and well in the packaging. So standard packaging from what I'm seeing so far. Let's go ahead and pull Wolverine out of the actual packaging here. You can just give him a good push from the back and kind of get him out of there fairly easy, which is good. Now, in terms of the actual figure design and body itself, looks pretty solid so far from what I'm seeing. Now, the face head sculpt looks really good. I like how they've been able to sort of sculpt a lot of his details. It's relatively no details into the mold itself, right? Costume looks great. Strong trapezoid and muscular area there on the top and on the chest area. You can also see the lines and his ab work there in terms of where the articulation stand, which is good and it's hidden pretty good, right? Belt looks really nice. I like how detailed it is in terms of the sculpting there. Nice like buttons. You can see good coloring from the gold itself. The pants look pretty solid as well. Some nice mold sculpting there on the legs, knee pads, as well as those pockets on the side that came out really well. His arms, or rather biceps, look a little too large. I know they kind of look like that in the comics sometimes, but it feels a little too swollen, too big for me, especially when you compare it to like his forearms and shoulders. Just feels a little oversized, but not too bad. The actual wrists and the claws themselves look good, right? Pretty standard on all Wolverine figures. Color is flat, less sheen, whereas the costume has a little shine to it. And I really like the black paint that they've used here across his costume. It just stands out really well on the top and as well as the yellow, right? The head sculpt looks pretty solid. Really like how they've done the hair and kind of given you a lot of those layers on the mold itself and being able to actually sculpt that from front to back. Face looks great. Really see his teeth nice and as well as the grin itself and some facial hair rather, right? So I think his head mold looks pretty solid and being able to really give you that likeness to Wolverine and looks great so far. Next, moving on to accessories. Unfortunately, it only comes with 4, which is a few extra hand molds, such as this. This is his finger pointing hand mold, right? Which kind of you can use it to kind of point at someone or another figure as part of your display. Looks pretty good, right? Fingers look symmetrically well there. I like a lot of where the claws retract to. Came out well. This is the open hand. It looks good as well. You can see differentiation in fingers length, which is good. So it's modeled pretty well after a human hand. Inside the palms look good on the mold, nice and clean. And I really like how they're able to give you some of those additional lines, especially on the inside of the hand when it's open. Next up here, we have the closed fist hand molds. They look pretty solid so far. Again, pretty good if you want to have the closed fist versus anything with the claws. And you can see here that the mold itself has the fingers fully closed. And it did a really good job of just having the position rather of the fingers going into the palm. So that's nice. Fists look good as well, right? Different variations of length there from the point finger down to the pinky, which is good. So overall, decent accessories, but no head molds, unfortunately, or additional head molds. So that's kind of a big miss from Hasbro there. Next, moving on articulation, let's go ahead and see what this dude can do in terms of movement. Now, head's movement side to side there is pretty good. Head tilt's okay, moving back, not too much downwards. Head tilt is all right. Get a little more motion there, which is good. Full range of motion, 360 on his head. So you get some nice positioning there. The lateral is good, gets you a full 180 degrees on the actual shoulder and arm length. Full rotation on both of his arms and shoulders from front to back all the way around. Some good, excuse me, butterfly joints here, so you can get actually his shoulders moving all the way forward, which is nice. Bicep rotation is pretty decent here. Doesn't feel solid, which is good, so you can actually easily move it. 90-degree bends are good as well. Good joints there. Snap well into place and don't feel loose. Wrist movements here, in terms of circular movement, is good as well. You can get good range of motion and position up and down, left and right, which is good. So decent movement there on the actual wrist itself. Ab crunch is good, right? You can see here forward is really good. Back is done well. So it's about 20 degrees there, movement, which is decent. Also get some good wrist rotation here and swivel all the way around, which is nice. In terms of the legs, you get some good rotation here on the hip area, upper thighs, some decent knee bends here. No issues there actually, so bending pretty well. On the actual toe itself or ankles, good movement upwards and downwards. Not full range of motion there, but not too bad. No ankle swivels though, so it can only move up and down. Unfortunately, here's a nice shot of his back in terms of movement. So overall, some decent articulation, especially in the upper area. Toes and ankles could use a little more, but not too bad, generally speaking. Next, I just want to take a quick look at his accessory swap, which includes the two of the hand molds. So on the right hand here, right arm, you can see his open hand mold here in terms of scale and what it looks like once attached to the body. On the left arm rather, it's the pointing finger hand mold, right? So you can see it looks pretty good when attached to the actual body itself. Pointing and the actual frame of it looks good, right? Scale of it is matches his body well, and the details look pretty well good in terms of the mold. Now, just quickly looking into the actual claws again, just because they look pretty sweet. They're not actually too gummy, which is nice, right? The shape of them looks good, and they all match well in terms of connectivity and the scale itself to the hand mold. So a pretty decent set of claws there, just like the way they came out. Generally speaking, again, still missing head molds, but not too bad. So there you have it, folks. Thanks for joining me today. So we explored the new Wolverine X-Treme version from Marvel Legends. Right, it looks pretty sweet so far, and it's available now for ordering. So it should be pretty easy for you to get your hands on him. Generally speaking, the figure looks really good. Body and design as well as paint came out well. Unfortunately, just missing both a BAF part for Nemesis as well as additional head molds and or slashing accessories. Otherwise, it is worth, I think, the purchase and pickup, especially if you're a fan of Wolverine and his extreme costume in this black form, right? So generally speaking, a very good figure overall. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more content and coolest Marvel figures around. Until next time, folks, keep on collecting.